Did you hear the Invisible Woman got married this past weekend? Bet you didn't see that coming. Hey, thanks for stopping by Comic Book Editions Volume 187. I have about half a dozen back issues, mostly DC, but a few Marvels, to share in today's video, and I'm glad that you're going to stick around for them. Make sure to let me know in the comments which one I'm going to show today is your favorite, and if you have any of these books in your collection, or if you're hunting for any of them as well. I'd love to dialogue with you in the comments section. Shout out to everyone that's just a regular and always commenting on my videos. Man, you guys mean the world to me. Keep it up. I love it. Let's get started with what I have in today's haul. Alphabetically, we start with Aquaman. So this is Aquaman Volume 5, Issue 16. This was released in 1996. Peter David wrote this story. Man, this is a 1990s comic book, if ever there was a definition of a 1990s comic book. So to be honest with you, I was thinking about maybe doing another guest starring Wonder Woman haul. And I kind of bought this book because it wasn't very expensive and because she was so prominently featured on the cover. But in reality, it's not so much a guest starring Wonder Woman comic book as it's a guest starring the Justice League comic book, with Wonder Woman, of course, being a member of the Justice League. The story was all right. Essentially, what the Justice League are doing is traveling to Atlantis. Aquaman kind of has made a threat to the surface world, and they're investigating to see if they need to do something about this. Wonder Woman doesn't actually believe it's really Aquaman, and it's been a little bit since I've read this story, since I bought it, between buying it, reading it, and then doing this video, but I don't think it was Aquaman, if I'm remembering correctly from this story. It really wasn't. It was someone else. But Aquaman and some of Atlantis soldiers fight the Justice League for a little bit, but essentially the Justice League deems him not a threat because he really hasn't done anything except for to warn the surface world. And they figure, well, he's a charting member of the JLA. Let's just leave it alone for now. And that's kind of the basis of the story. What didn't work for me is the artwork. And it just wasn't for me. It's no offense to the artist. It just did not work for me. And I thought I could handle this. I looked at the cover and went, well, that's not my favorite art depiction of Wonder Woman. But inside and the interiors got much worse. And that just didn't work for me. So I do have another Aquaman comic book from a different era, though. Much more modern. I think it's New 52, or is it Rebirth? It might be Rebirth. That guest stars Wonder Woman, that I'll be showing in a future comic book editions video. I haven't even read it yet, so hopefully I'll enjoy that one a little bit more than I enjoyed this one. This is an interesting series, and I say interesting with quotation marks. It's DC Challenge Volume 1, Issue 11. First of all, Keith Giffen does the cover and interior art, and I love the artwork for this one. I think that this is pretty prominent on the story, or at least the cover artwork is pretty prominent as to what the story is inside. So I have 5 issues of this DC Challenge, which was a 12-issue limited series. And kind of the concept was they passed it over to different creative teams, I believe, for each issue to try to tie everything together. And the creative team, writer-wise, for this issue is Marv Wolfman and Cary Bates. So 2 people that definitely know what they're doing when it comes to writing, that's for sure. This is a 1986 comic book. So I have 5 of these DC Challenge comic books so far. The most recent one, you might remember that I showed in my Comic Book Editions Volume 140 video, but that's been almost a year ago since I picked that up. And these are very cheap. You find these in dollar bins all the time. So I have almost half of the 12-issue miniseries. The reason that I selected this issue specifically was now I have all of the issues that Wonder Woman was a part of in the DC Challenge, even though she's not depicted here on the cover. And she's not in very much of the story, just a couple pages, a couple panels on a couple pages. But I still got it anyway. I don't know where I stand with this. The artwork is good enough that it definitely kept me interested. A spoiler, I already know how the entire series ends too. I'll probably continue picking these up. I'm probably not going to go out of my way to pick these up, but probably to complete the run when I see them out and about or in the wild, and they continue to be very cheap or dollar bin books in very nice condition. They're still dollar bin books. I'll probably continue to add those into my collection. Doom Patrol. Here we have Volume 2, issue number 42, and we're in 1991 for this. Of course, this is the Grant Morrison era of Doom Patrol. I didn't know a whole lot about this era until I started watching the Doom Patrol TV show, which of course is completely wrapped up now. All of the seasons have been released. That show was weird. Now I can get behind some weird stuff, but that show was like really out there, even a little too weird for me sometimes. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the TV show, I did, but one of the characters that I really liked was Flex Mentallo. And this is Flex, I think this is Flex's first appearance, and it definitely does his origin in this story as well. So I enjoyed him so much on the TV show that I wanted to get the comic book that kind of correlated with it. Danny the Street, which is another favorite character of mine from Doom Patrol that I knew nothing of until I started watching the TV show, has a little bit of an appearance inside this issue as well. I'd previously gotten Danny's first appearance as an AOK years ago from actually a work colleague, which was very cool to get. So I really enjoyed the story, and if I ever decide to pick up more Doom Patrol from this Grant Morrison era, maybe a trade paperback, or who knows if I will want to splurge some money sometime to get an Omni, I do think it's something I would enjoy. So I'm happy to have this one into my collection. Did you like the Doom Patrol TV show? I would love to know what you thought. Okay, I promised you some Marvel in this video today, and the first that I'm going to show right now is Invisible Woman number 2. Of course, this is 2019, Mark Waid, the writer, and then we have this beautiful cover here that I love. We have Invisible Woman, guest starring Black Widow in this issue. So in my comic book editions, volume 173 video, I picked up Invisible Woman issue number 1. And I'd always been curious about the storyline. I remember when it was brand new issue, I still passed it up in the comic book stores. But since then, I've always was kind of curious about the storyline. So I wanted to pick it up, and I really enjoyed that first issue. I think Mark Waid's got a really good grasp on this character, and kind of, you know, it is a little odd that Sue was a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, and that kind of was never discussed before until he decided to include that as part of her backstory. And what she's doing is she's searching for her missing S.H.I.E.L.D. partner from before she joined the Fantastic. I think it was before she joined the No, because she had her powers at that point. So it was during some time that she wasn't with the FF. She was a S.H.I.E.L.D. member. I keep thinking it was before, but she had her powers at that point. I have to double check on that one. But anyway, here she's teamed up with Black Widow. They're looking for her original S.H.I.E.L.D. partner. I do enjoy the writing on this. The artwork is really good on this as well. And this is another issue where when I got done reading it, I went, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to keep going with this limited series and see how this plays out. So Adam Hughes does the cover art here, just like he does the A covers on the issues. Now, speaking of that Invisible Woman number 1, just last month I featured that as one of my back issue of the week. It was back issue of the week, volume 114, as part of Women's History Month. So if you want more detailed information about the story in Invisible Woman number 1, you can spend 60 seconds to check that out when this video is over with. But now that I have issue 1, now that I have issue 2, I definitely will be wanting to get issue 3 sometime in the future just to continue enjoying that. This book I just read last night. So it's Teen Titans Spotlight, issue number 21. This was released in 1988. Of course, around this time, Teen Titans are still one of, if not the hottest thing that DC Comics has going. And this was the final issue of the series. So I have, I think, 13 issues of the 21. I might try to fill in the rest of the collection of the issues that I'm missing. So essentially what they do is take a member of the Teen Titans family. Sometimes it's even villains too, but someone from the Teen Titans family or extended family, and just do a solo story. Sometimes it launches into a multiple issue story arc. This one spotlights an untold tale of the original Teen Titans. But there is a little bit, it's hard to place where this really takes place because the story is very Woodstock focused. But Aqualad is still a member, and Aqualad quit in the original Teen Titans, issue 19. So it would have to take place before then with Aqualad being a member. But Woodstock didn't take place at that time. When Woodstock took place would be when Wonder Girl was wearing not her original costume like she's wearing in this story, but a later one. So there's a little bit of, that doesn't make sense time-wise either. But then someone else explained it that it actually could have taken place on an alternate Earth right before the Crisis on Infinite Earths happened. So I guess somewhere, somehow, someone found a way to kind of justify or explain this. The Teen Titans, the original ones, weren't so much prevalent in this issue. It actually was a lot more Woodstock. And they even make the joke of, is Woodstock, like a music event, or is that just Snoopy's bird friend? That kind of gets referenced here in the story too. And it was good though, and I did enjoy it. So filling in the rest of these issues, not a high priority, but probably at some point something that I will do in my collection. I'm a completist. Once I start something, I just want to have it all. One more book I want to show in today's video, and I'll get you another Marvel one in, will actually kind of come full circle here because this is another Peter David written story, just like I was talking about at the beginning with the Aquaman book that I showed first in today's video. Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, issue 122, published in 1986. Rich Buckler doing the cover and interior artwork. You can never go wrong with a Rich Buckler interior art. So originally, when Peter David wrote this, and it starts out with Peter Parker finding like an abandoned baby. And he's like, how is this baby abandoned? And someone claims that that's their baby, and a little bit of a brawl ensues, and Peter changes to Spider-Man, eventually takes the baby into the hospital. Originally, the way it was written, the nurse was going to ask Spider-Man, is this your child? And he was going to say something to the effect of, well, why don't we throw it to the wall and see if it sticks? And then they kind of thought, no, that's a little bit too harsh for Spider-Man. So they kind of changed the response of what he said in this issue. More great cover artwork. We got, Spidey in the black suit, which I'm a fan of. I know a lot of people are. I'm one of those who's been a fan of Spidey in the black suit as well. So I had a fantastic time last week as a guest again on the 10-1-1 program with Gary B, the Casual Comics Guy. Thank you, Gary, for having me on. If you didn't get a chance to see that episode, I put a link to it in the description for this video. And make sure to sub Gary up as well. He's an awesome guy. But we were talking about Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man during one of my 10-1-1 picks. And does that need to be filed under P for Peter Parker or S for Spectacular Spider-Man? The debate just continues. If you want to see my take on it, you can watch the 10-1-1 because I do share that in there. I also share a hysterical story of getting pepper sprayed by accident by a coworker that same day. So just check out the video if you want the full details there. But like I said, we started out with Peter David. We end with Peter David today on this Comic Book Editions, volume 187. If you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, well, what you waiting for? I would love it if you would, seriously, though. 1K is the goal. Share this channel and this video with someone that you think might enjoy it. It's another great way to show support. Give the video a thumbs up, a heart, anything to help the algorithm. Anything to... the algorithm. Algorithm. Am I saying that right? It just doesn't feel right. It's the end of the video. What do you expect? Algorithm. Thank you. Anything to help the algorithm. Apparently that was a hard one to say. I hope you've had a fantastic day. We'll have Fanboys Live and the Retro Review coming up this upcoming weekend with Comic Food 2814 and Signature King Tony Fett. It's Tony's pick for the Retro Review, so who knows what we're going to get. Or is it Tony's pick? No, it's Comic Food's pick, so we're okay. We're going to be okay. It's Comic Food 2814's pick, so tune in to see what that's going to be this upcoming Sunday night and join us live if you can. 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 7:15 p.m. Central, the greatest DC comic show on YouTube. I mentioned the Invisible Woman back issue of the week YouTube short that I did earlier this week. Well, there's another one that's out. We haven't missed a week since I started doing the back issue of the week shorts. And yesterday morning we dropped another one. So make sure to check that out on my channel. And if I'm remembering correctly, it's Middleman. I mentioned on Instagram last month that maybe I should do a Middleman back issue of the week, something Silver Age, and I did. So check that out. 60 seconds of just knowledge and fun. You've come to the end of this Comic Book Editions video. I look forward to visiting with you next week for Volume 188. Until then, take care of yourself. Have a fantastic, successful, safe week. Thank you for being my friend. Truly appreciate your friendship and support. And look forward to visiting with you again soon. Take care.